Hi, I'm Josh, and this is How to Fix It Workshop. And I'm in the process of completing a retaining wall in my backyard, and I thought I'd give a couple of tips about some of the materials that I'm using, namely these decorative edging stones that I picked up from Lowe's for about 98 cents a piece. So, the first tip that I wanted to share was that this is actually an edging block, but I chose to use it as more of a decorative face for this retaining wall that I built for this flower bed. And I'm just basically using this landscape adhesive to apply these blocks directly to this these concrete blocks here. And so tip number one is that these are edging blocks, but they can also be used as a decorative face. The second tip, and something I think is probably the most important tip, is that when you pull these off the shelf, they come on a pallet at Lowe's. And one thing that I didn't notice the first time, my first trip, was that these are actually made two different ways. Take a look at the front of them, the rough edge. There's actually one that's wider and one that's narrower, and they kind of fit together in an overlapping pattern like that. They're just all on the pallet all together. So if you were to go, and actually the guy at Lowe's told me that some people will pick up 12 of them, they'll come home and they'll end up with 11 of one and maybe one of the other. And they think there's something wrong. Actually, whenever I started out my wall, I thought that I made a mistake because suddenly the blocks weren't fitting together right. So what I soon figured out on my own is that there's actually, they kind of do like a tongue and groove type of connection with each other. So that's tip number two. Tip number three is that I'm using this LOCTITE ProLine 500 landscape construction adhesive to bond these stones to the block wall behind it. This is a really good material. It's really strong. I've used it in the past on this wall back here. It's held up for years and years. It's very solid. There won't be any problems down the road with the blocks getting knocked off or falling apart or anything like that. But the main tip that I wanted to share was that probably not just with this product, but probably all products that come in a tube, you got to look at the bottom of them. Might be hard to see here, but there's actually a difference in the quantity of material that is in the tube. It says it's supposed to be 10 ounces. This one is filled almost all the way to the bottom, and this one is like 2 inches short. So there's probably an ounce to 2 ounces less material in this tube than there is in this tube. So it's a pretty expensive product. It's about $5.58 per tube. So you want to try to get your money's worth, and obviously the more you have, the further that material is going to go when you're working with it. So that's my three tips. The first one is that this is edging rock. Edging block can be used as a front-facing decorative stone for a very ugly and bare block wall or concrete wall. Second tip is that these stones actually, and this is Insignia stone, I believe the manufacturer is Timberwood. They actually fit together in like a tongue and groove pattern, so you have to get an even number of both if you expect to have them go together in that manner. And then the third tip is be careful when you're purchasing your adhesive or any kind of caulks or anything like that, that make sure that the tube is filled all the way to the bottom so that you're getting your money's worth.